Do you have some brands that we can, buy from? Any recommendations for us that are really good?
Well, since I write for the New York Times, I try not to endorse
Oh,
particular brands, right? Because it gets a little
yeah.
tricky. But um, I wrote about some brands in the book, and then there's just loads out there that are. I mean, you can go on things like Net-a-Porter and My Teresa and see um, uh, the green edit to find, good sustainable
Okay.
clothes. There's lots of young designers who are doing good work with and making beautiful organic cotton shirts and there's a brand that just started up in the UK called Akin, and it's Akyn, and it's founded and run by somebody I used to work with a lot at British Vogue, and she's a fashion designer who is sustainably minded, and she's sourcing everything properly and making things properly. And so I don't know if she's available in the US right now. It might only be in the UK, but keep an eye on that one. For example, there's a platform that a friend of mine founded called, it's a tough name because it's a French name. It's called Rêve en Vert. It means green dream, which is actually the name of my podcast, The
Mm,
Green. Um, but it's Reve, and then En, and then Vert, which means green, Vert. And look on that, because she used to be like the green Net-a-Porter, and then she decided that it wasn't very green to have a warehouse full of clothes and be like a department store online and moving clothes around. So instead, now she is sort of like a, what do they call it, a marketplace, where all sorts of items, not just fashion. She checks on them. She makes sure that they really do stand up to what they say they're going to do, and then she kind of like almost gives them like a seal of approval. And if you buy through her, I guess you get some sort of, I don't know, because it's in the U.S., so I have never done anything because I'm in Europe. But she does everything
mhm.
from mattresses to paint, like everything, and it's really cool because she does the vetting for you, and that's the hardest part. Recently I wrote about a nice brand in upstate New York. I wrote in my Substack newsletter about a nice brand in upstate New York that's doing shoes, like, so things come up. But snoop around, and the beauty is that most every sustainable brand now will tell you straight up, on they have transparency, and they'll tell you what the materials are, where is everything made.
Yeah.
And you can just tell when you touch something, if it's good or
Mm,
if it's not. It's clear. Like today, I'm wearing a cashmere sweater by a brand in Scotland called Barry,
mm,
Barri, and they're sustainable. And it looks great. I've had it for years. I'm wear it to death.
mm.
And you just, the minute you touch something, and you touch this, and you touch a cashmere sweater by a fast fashion brand, you just know that that's an inferior material, that they're stretching the
Mm,
cat so much that it's fragile. That sweater will last you 6 months. This one I've been wearing, for years. So
mm.
better to invest $200 on a really good sweater than 80 on something that you have to replace next winter.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions from people saying, "Oh, but the fast fashion is all I can afford." And you just answered, it's like you can save your money, because if you're thinking of it in the long term, you spend maybe $200 on fast fashion for many. So you think of it quality, in quantity, not really in quality, right?
Exactly.
So
Like if you keep buying that same yellow pullover from the fast fashion brand because it keeps, wearing out every year. And so you go back and you buy it every winter, you have to go back and buy one for 80, or you could have bought a good one for 200 and kept wearing it for 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 years.
yeah,
There's right there. Buy the good stuff and love it and take care of it. And if you spend money on it, you will take care of it.
yeah. And it's also the Instagram place we live in right now, where people are afraid to be seen wearing the same outfit twice. And I feel like it's so ridiculous.
That's so nonsense. And that's why
It's
I love actresses like Kate Blanchett, who are recycling their looks all the time, and even Kate Middleton, the
yeah,
Cambridge. She's, or now, no, the Princess of Wales. She does what I call the royal rewear. She trots
yeah,
out her green Alexander McQueen coat all the time. She rewears all sorts of stuff all the time, and so
yeah.
they're making it chic to rewear. It's a funny thing because it's kind of a byproduct of the red carpet phenomenon that we've had for the last 25 years, where movie stars kept showing up on the red carpet in a different look for every award season. But the thing was, they were borrowing those clothes. They weren't buying
Exactly.
them. So, you
Exactly.
know, they're encouraging, but we don't borrow, we buy. And so, no,
Yeah.
it's okay to rewear. If you were just borrowing something, you could rent. Rent's great, especially if you have a fancy pants thing to go to. Go rent a $3,000 gown for $300, then buying a $300 gown that looks like a $300 gown, and then
Mm-hmm.
give it back when you're done, because you'll only probably wear it once. And if you really liked it, you could rent it again. But
Mm-hmm.
rent when you need something fancy, and which is increasingly rare in our lives, and be like those movie
Mm-hmm.
stars who are basically borrowing and giving it back,
And giving
and
away.
instead of flipping out that oh, I wore twice the same thing. It's very funny. When I worked at the Washington Post in my early days, one of the things I did was I covered parties, which sounds very frivolous, but in Washington, covering parties meant that you went to White House state dinners, you went up to a thing with the Supreme Court justices on the Hill, you went, like they were, the
Yeah.
National Geographic Awards, and the president's announcing who the winner is. It was like,
Yeah.
these were not parties, they were events, right? So I was covering events, and I had one little black cocktail dress because I was a young 25-year-old starving, journalist, not very well paid. And plus, how many black cocktail dresses does one need? So I had one black cocktail dress, and the photographers used to take my picture interviewing people. And so we have like 4 pictures of me, talking with president, talking to General Schwarzkopf, talking to Colin Powell, and I'm in the same dress in every picture.
Yeah.
But then you know what?
I
So
mean,
was Colin Powell. He was always in his uniform, and so was General
exactly.
Schwarzkopf in his uniform. So it was my equivalent of the uniform. It's pretty funny. So it's
Yeah.
very dress, just a
And it's
black cocktail dress,
fine.
paint it up with scarves and jewels. Like Vogue and Glamour and Mademoiselle used to have those stories all the time. How to take the same look you've had for ages and make it look new with
Twist
a
it
new
up.
with a belt, a scarf, or some earrings. There you go.
It actually makes you innovative because you're like, oh, okay, the last time I wore this with a heels, today I can wear it with a boots. Like it makes you,
That's fashion.
it's fun. That's fashion. That's
That's
style,
fashion.
Yeah. So that's
Right.
that. I don't care. Me, I show up. I show up now, especially now this year. I made up my mind. I gave all away all my trash clothes, and the clothes I have now are the really quality ones. And I'm like, I'm gonna wear this. I don't care. My mom passed it like you passed down to your daughter, gray jeans. My mom has like jackets that she had when she was younger than me, and I'm wearing them now, and I'm just looking like these my raggedy clothes. I can't pass down to my kids, so now I'm much more conscious of quality. You need to go for quality. You need to have taste. You need to have style so you can, be unique in how you present yourself instead of focusing on things that are trivial.
Absolutely.
How in your experience has the fashion industry how seriously do you think you're taking this topic? Because you've worked with Vogue, you've worked with New York, you're working with New York Times Magazine as a contributor. How seriously do you think these institutions are taking sustainability, and how do you think you're contributing for better or for worse to the solution or the problem?
Oh, the media takes it. mm, was taking it very seriously, taking it less seriously now. I'm finding that they're a bit treating it like a trend, and now the
Hmm.
trend's gone fashion, which is a little um, disturbing. But I'm
Yeah,
still making noise about it, and I'm going to keep on it. And we're working on maybe turning my book into a documentary, so then that'll bring
yeah.
focus back. I'm still writing
Oh,
about it, and I did my
that is
podcast.
so
So
exciting.
we're trying to keep it going and show that it's not a trend. It's actually how we just need to be. Um, but it's hard because clicks. It's all about clicks, and also there is, to be sure, the effect of climate fatigue, and people get and
Hmm.
climate anxiety, and people start getting really wiggy jiggy, like this is just too much bad news. So that's why I always try to do I talk about hopeful stories and
Hmm.
innovation and change makers doing cool things, because
Hmm.
that's an interesting story no matter what they're doing. And I'm finding that if
Hmm.
we talk about the ones who are doing innovation in biomaterials, or regenerative farming, or uh, you know young startups who are doing beautiful clothes, but they're they're upcycling. Then you're writing about sustainability, but you're not at the same time. You're just spotlighting somebody doing something cool. So I try to
Mhm.
keep it that way so it doesn't get people down, because it can sort of wear on you. Like, if we don't deal with this, the planet's going to catch on fire and we're all going to die. Nobody wants to listen to that, read that, and wake up to that every day. So you have to be positive and hopeful,
Mhm.
and spotlight change makers who are doing good stuff, and hopefully they'll catch on and it'll just keep going forward.
Yeah, I love that. But honestly, I, I want to keep also be responsible as I move forward, but keep spreading the message because now I'm joining you in a little way. Not that you have such experience, but in your quest to make fashion and the industry has so much power. There's so much power in this industry. You
So
can
if they
see from
really
how
want
many.
something, they will. But look, it
Yeah,
took the automobile
exactly.
industry 50 years to turn around. I remember the automobile talking industry talking about electric vehicles back when I was a kid during the ecology movement, and now finally
Hmm.
here 25, and they've become
Yeah,
a thing. It took 50 years to get them in the mainstream. So, but once they decided, it was full on. And I
yeah.
mean, in Paris, all the taxis are hybrids or electric, and same in the UK. And it's not so much the
Hmm.
case. I was just in New York, and I was kind of amazed at how little there was of electric. Even our municipal buses are electric now, or hybrids.
Hmm.
So, but it's, once the industry as a whole said, no, we got to go, this is the way we're going, um, then we saw change. And so we have to see the same thing happen in the fashion industry. It has to reach a tipping point, and then it becomes the norm. And I think for luxury fashion, that shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, as Stella McCartney said, if organic cotton is seen as a luxury, then why aren't all luxury brands only using organic cotton?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. So this is the end of our conversation. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I hope you had fun. I hope you
Absolutely.
guys.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And please subscribe for more conversations with amazing people in the future. But please go also look up Miss Dana Thomas. Look her up, learn as much as you can about her, and get her books and read them, and so you can learn more about this topic. And I will see you guys next time.